What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of Pillars of Eternity. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today. It's been a little while since my last recording session, so let's spend a moment. Let's powwow. For you, it'll have been yesterday since you saw this game before, but for me, it's been 6 or 7 days. I actually sat down and I went through all my quest logs and made sure that I knew exactly what page we were on before we began, so there wouldn't be any confusion. I think in the next couple episodes, what we're going to do is we're going to help overthrow Raedric. I think that's going to be the quest chain that we work on. I tend to be the kind of person that hyper-focuses on one quest chain until I get it done, and then once it's finished, like when I play Fallout, I do like the Brotherhood of Steel campaign all in one go, or I do, you know, just like those random little substrates of storyline. I hit those hard in my little canoe storyline, but we've actually got a conversation we can have down here with a deer, so let's have a deer little conversation, shall we?
The dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Shouldn't there be less of them?
The Godhammer? That's what they called the bomb they blew up Waidwin with. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything that kills a living god, I guess you gotta name it. It's true. That seems to be like one of those things that you should really get on for marketability purposes. Why do they call themselves the Dozens? Was 12 Deerwoodens stood outside Halgot Citadel waiting for Waidwin to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. What do you have against the Dozens? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folks, anyway. The Dozens, they like to take things into their own hands, and it gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home here. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magran, too, especially when they want to feel right. Somehow, I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. Well, it's just a lot. I mean, how can you be impressed with a lot? I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. If I was a god, I would make sure that there was no rule against igniting random people for things that irritate me. I'd be igniting people like crazy. It'd be off the hook. Well, people hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. The Duke's a reasonable man. Maybe while we're in Defiance Bay, we can get him to force people to call themselves what they are. Don't imagine they'd have as many members if they called themselves the loudmouth sheepfuckers. Let's continue on. Good idea. I do really wish that those were all voiced over. I find myself, every now and again when we go through those, it sets me sort of off kilter, I suppose. Every single time, like, they voice the first sentence, but then they just stop. Now, I think Raedric's hold is to the east of Easternwood, I think. I don't know. How do we get any farther east than in Easternwood? Who even knows? But we're going to try and go that way. I decided to come back to Gilded Vale, and I got all the resting and stuff out of the way before we went to Raedric's, just in case, because I wanted to slam, like, as much content into this episode as possible. I find that it's very, very easy in games like this to just, like, wander around and accomplish nothing, which is exactly what I'm about to do anyways, because is there a way through over here? Because I see a whole lot of fog of war, and I expect there to be like a little path up in here somewhere. Yeah, it looks like we can hop the fence maybe right there. Let me make sure that I've got everything cleared out. I know the irony, right? I don't even know if that counts as irony. It doesn't seem like irony. I know I was talking specifically about getting off the beaten trail and never accomplishing anything, and then that's exactly what I did. However, for right now, oh look, there's a thingy over here. Maybe I should hold down the tab key more. And we've got some golden celery. You can have ants on a log. Do they have that in other places? So ants on a log is just celery with peanut butter and then raisins on top. Ants on a log is delicious. Or you can just put peanut butter on celery. I don't know. Pretty popular snack for little kids around where I grew up anyways. That's what my mom was always throwing onto a platter. Like what my mom used to do is back in the day, like we had to play outside because I played a lot of video games when I was a little kid. And that makes sense given my chosen career path. However, I used to play a lot of video games when I was a kid. My parents thought that something was wrong with me because I never wanted to go outside and like play or anything like that. Never mind the fact that I was on like 5 sports teams and that I was constantly at practice and like swim team stuff. Nonetheless, they felt like I didn't get enough physical activity. So they would, like, my mom would be like, you have to play outside a certain amount of time before you can come in and play video games. And so in the summer, she would just, like, lock us outside, and then she would just, like, hang out inside and watch TV and stuff. She'd put me and my cousin and, like, my little friends, she'd be like, all right, bye, and then we'd just, like, run around the neighborhood for 4 or 5 hours. And eventually we'd come home and be like, we're thirsty, and, like, bang on the door, and then we would get to come in and play Sega Genesis again. And it was pretty awesome. It was pretty rad. But that was the snack that I remember. My mom used to take that, and she'd put it on a big platter, and she'd hand it to us out the front door and be like, here you go. Like, she'd make us lunch and stuff. But it was just like one of those things that I remember from being a kid. She also used to drop us off at the public swimming pool all the time. That's how you know right there. The main keep construction has been completed. Okay, we'll get on top of all the secondary work now. I know that you put down the foundation. You've done all the main stuff. Now it's time to get all that special stuff along the sides that nobody thinks about.
Lord, while we're here. Got some suggestions for him.
I don't think this is a good idea. Somehow I feel like this is going to get way out of hand far too quickly. We got a River Reed. People don't, like, have you noticed there are certain names that aren't used anymore? Like, nobody's named Reed anymore. Like, Reed Richards and stuff. Like, nobody's named Reed anymore. It's just not a name that any, although why would you name your kid after, like, River Brush? Like some random stick that just like, oh. The guard fixes a glower on you. You have no business here. Lord Raedric is not permitting any visitors, merchants, or traveling entertainers. He sneers. Best turn right around. I'm here to see Raedric. Step aside. The guard snorts. Are you hard of hearing? He draws his sword. You've got one more chance to turn around. The guards won't be half so gentle. You have no business here. Oh, he's going to say the exact same thing. Well, we have Resolve 15. This is probably going to get me in trouble. I don't know if I should I be breaking in right now? Is that like a thing? Hold on, let me take a look at the quest to make sure that I'm not like overstepping myself right now. In addition, why is it that I feel like my resolve things, the things that tell me like, let's see here, personality, reputation, no, it's still enabled. I just wanted to make sure because I feel like it's not, I want to make sure that I'm, oh no. Apparently I'm not allowed to move myself around either. Okay, well, let's beat up Nudwin first, because I don't like his name. The name Nudwin bothers me, and so there it is. Somebody in the crowd's going to be like, hey, my cousin's name is Nudwin, you ass. And I'll be like, oh, well, I apologize to your cousin Nudwin, I guess. I love his name, and I think it's the best name that's ever been invented by his mom. Let's go. What'd you say about my mother? We've got an S-stock. We've got, okay, well, I would say just to throw all this stuff in the stash, and then we'll deal with it later. This guy also dropped a pretty good docket. He dropped some white leaf. Okay. Well, we'll put that in there since I don't really know how to use it just yet. We killed his guard, so I have a feeling that this negotiation is going to be very, very short and possibly violent. When you start out by killing the first people you see at the front gate, it's not really the way that I wanted this whole diplomacy thing to go, but... Oh my god. They have, like, an army. Jesus, and we have bad visibility, too. Okay, so... Where's my wizard at? Where my wizard at? With my wizard, I need to like come up with some kind of plan here for how. Let's make a blockade right there. Yes, absolutely. You start casting spells on that side. We are going to have to even out the odds here in just a moment. The trip attack, let's not worry about that for right now. Let's go after one of those. So that's going to be our AoE heal / damaging thing. Speaker to the Restless. I may try and get that one off right there. What's he got going on? He just has his aura. So since he's detached from combat for right now, what I would strongly suggest is that we get some kind of buff or debuff going on. Divine Mark, is that an AoE? It is not. And so I would like... Holy Power. That's not going to help out much. Iconic. Actually, that might work out pretty well. Although that hits all of our guys too, doesn't it? Okay. So, we're going to have to wait on that one. I would like to use it, but unfortunately, since it's going to affect everybody involved in the combat, I would really, really sincerely prefer... Okay, so a little bit of damage off right there. The next thing that you are going to do in the middle of combat is you're going to pop off with one of those bad boys right there to strike dread into all of our enemies' hearts. Got you right there. You've got that going on. What else do we have happening here? Get on that one, I guess. I don't know. And then on this side, we've got him. I got to get some skeletons up and running pretty soon. But for right now, feel free to shoot the one that's in behind our characters because I'd prefer it to work out that way. Did he get his cast off? Okay, so all these guys, they have combusting wounds. Shouldn't they have the fear thing? Okay, so they have frighten now, so that's good. At least that's been covered. No, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. On this side, let's throw out another AoE heal. There it is. This guy is behind him, and I'm a little bit terrified to turn around and see what will happen if I actually flip him around a little bit. I believe that the next thing we should probably get to doing is clearing out some of these guys in the back so that they are no longer bombarding my characters in the fashion that they are currently doing so. This fight actually got out of hand a little bit quicker than I wanted it to. Let's get a heal going here. Oh, good. My wizard's now being attacked. That's enjoyable. Well... Somehow they got all around my lines, and I'm not exactly sure how they did it, because we have a line right here, and they just walked through combat. Just, like, waded their way straight through it somehow. Okay, well, let's throw this down real fast.
Yes.
On this side, we're gonna have to come up with something in order to get this cleared out. He's ready to go on some skeletons. So let's throw in some bodyguards over here. Hopefully that'll be something that'll assist us. In addition, what is our main character doing right now? He's throwing down on that. Okay, and that means that I want Durance to throw down on a heal. Oh, I don't know. Over here in the middle of the melee people. So we got a little bit of lovin' flying around right there. We got a couple people that are getting ready to die.
Huh?
So you finish that one off right there. We need a little bit of focus here. Okay, so we got one down. Skeletons are going to come down in here and help with some of these enemies, whereas these characters are going to push this way. Let's dig actually one of those out from behind right there, because I think it's going to be a good plan. Because at the moment, it appears as though our character is very, very surrounded. Is everybody still frightened? Everybody's still frightened. Good, good, good. Alright, so that leaves us with... Let's go for a blessing here. There it is. Did that heal? How did we catch a heal right there? It increases the accuracy and damage of allies. Okay, so I guess that didn't do what I wanted it to do. However, we should have a number of people running around causing all kinds of problems for our enemies now. Got that right there. Stop turning your back on the fray. Keep yourself forward-facing, I guess, would be the life advice of the day. So now that we're facing forward, we're just going to have to wait and see, like, where these enemies fall down and die. We don't really have much of a choice. Alright.
Following your lead.
I would much prefer it. Let's get you to right there. Have the skellies help out as much as they can on this side, although it seems to be a little bit limited in the way that they can assist. I would also prefer that she disengage and come help out with Raedric's guard. And never mind. Right about the time that I resituate, Raedric's guard's gonna go down. Alright, well...
Yes?
Let me... Where is Durance at? I need Durance. Take Sanctuary over here and throw it on the wizard real fast. Because he's getting beat on, and I need him just to, like, hide inside of his little sphere of protection. Everybody else should focus on killing that guy. You should focus on him. You guys got that right there. You guys got that right there. And so this one should be an auto-attack fest from here on in. That fight did get out of control very, very quickly, though. The skeletons bought us a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. Let's get going with a little bit of the attack power down here. God. I'm not sure how I feel about the long-term HP mechanic. Like, it makes it so, like, right here, like, we didn't really suffer that much damage. We only healed a couple of times. And yet, we're already going to have to rest again, like, right after this. I don't know. I'm not so sold on it just yet. I'm not so sure. That fight could have gone better. The way that they just infiltrated my lines without actually having to stop and take attacks of opportunity was a little concerning. However, ooh, we got cash money up in here. We're about to make some serious Skrilla once we get the hell up out of this villa. Alright, so we earned some Skrilla in the villa. Ooh, there's more over here. Yeah, I like Skrilla. Let's get a little bit more. Ooh, that Fetty, that paper, those clinkies. Got that stuff covered. Alright. So, other stuff that can be looted. We have ourselves a fish up and in here. Just in case you're trying to impress the ladies with your aura o stinkage. Put a dead fish. Ooh, 295 coin up inside that barrel. Yes, please. Yeah, I don't know. Not so impressed with the health system so far. I think it's a little bit overbearing. Like, it's rare that you get through more than like 1 or 2 fights without you being, at least having one character at fairly low HP, because the AI seems to hyper-focus. Basically, they focus fire just like we do, and while that's perfectly fine... You know, you see how there's a large disparity between, like, many of our party members, especially the one who's supposed to be tanking, and everybody else. I don't know. We might have to take this a little bit slower. It's probably my fault. I'll admit to it. I need to orchestrate these fights. What is this? The air in the stable is heavy with bat dung. Quickly, to the bat dung, just in case. What is Batman's gunpowder made out of? Nothing, because he doesn't use guns, but I was going to make a guano joke right there. What is this? Okay, so that's just an open door. We have a number of soldiers up top.
Hey.
So this time I'm going to try and do this a little bit differently. These guys seem like they might be a little bit more badass. I feel like they've got better preparations made. Can we camp here? I would hate to have to, like, make camp in the middle of their courtyard right now, but it might have to happen. I just want to make sure that we don't have anybody get, like, serious wounds early on in the game. We're not far enough in yet to where we can have, like, serious scars or, you know, conversational pieces on our bodies. Apparently they don't bother us when we camp right outside their house. They're totally okay with that. They are not going to sally forth. So I suppose that bravery is not one of their better characteristics here. Alright, so let's try this again, shall we? Alright, so you're down here. We do have a guy casting right now, which is a little bit worrying. Let's go person by person. And what I would like to do... is get people in here who can lock these into combat There we go. So there's the combat lock. We'll get our guy in from behind. That'll give us a little bit of wiggle room with our wizard to start casting some bigger attacks for 16 damage right there. It does appear to be getting the job done. Let's go for another one, actually. See if you can get them both down in here. It says they're both going to get hit, so we'll give it a go. Although they are in the yellow zone, which makes me wonder how that affects damage. We got him from behind right there. Keep attacking on that side. Durance has got that covered. This character is still actually far and away outside of combat, so that's good. Keep firing right there. We'll just do some auto attack action. We may not actually need to do anything fancy. Don't turn around and fight the wrong guy. Fight that way. There it is. So we got another character down. Let's go off this way. See if that bails us out of combat for a second so that we can get that back. Yes, indeed it does. And so that's what I was hoping for. There's still a couple more up the stairs, but for right now I think it'll work. Let's jump on. Which one looks scarier? Neither of them. Although this one has a pleasant tummy, and so I think I'll attack him first. He looks like he's been eating well lately. And so that infuriates me because reasons. I don't really have any joke planned right there. I just figured that I would say that it bothered me. And then I was hoping at some point my brain would ad-lib something for it, but then it just sort of like never happened. And so now I'm vaguely just sort of like going with it and pretending like this is the actual bit that I was planning to do. The joys. What is that right there? That's going to be your song? Well, cast more spells, man. I like my chanter, but he has a long rev-up time. There we go. Just keep using your dailies right there, your combats. Go with that one right there. Durant, set him on fire. Bam! Oh, that's right. He doesn't have the mod that makes it deal damage. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Sometimes you don't have moderator status. Thus is life. I feel like we're really not getting much across right here. They've got to have a really, really high DR. I wonder if they're wearing plate mail or what's going on right there, because seriously, they are not getting scratched very well. Let's have a look at this loot, shall we? You talking like that does not make me rest easier, and so that's got a really, really long recovery period. They got some badass capes, though. Some full helms and a couple of Luccis. Let's throw those in for right now. Check these other bodies, too. I'm just checking them. What is that? A silver fenning. So is that better than a Lucci? Oh, it is. Cool. I like money. We have lots of retrofitting that we need to do anyways. Is there anything good in here? I should probably be going through this a little bit slower just to make sure. An acorn helm made out of all natural acorns. That's how you use the environment to your advantage. It won't keep the squirrels away, though. Damn, are those squirrels going to go after your head with a vengeance. I'm like, it's like go straight after you. My dog is like, well, my ex-dog anyways. I gave it to my parents because we didn't have room for it at our apartment. It was my ex's dog, and she left it with me when she left because she's just like the height of maturity. And so in so doing, I gave it to my parents because I was in college 8 hours a day and I couldn't take care of a dog, and it wasn't fair to him to leave him inside like prancing around with a full bladder all day. And so anyways, he's a squirrel killer. Like seriously, he's like a Pomeranian, but he kills squirrels like all day, every day. Like he mangles them. Like you come outside and he's just like sitting there on a pile of squirrel corpses like, what? This is my backyard. For a tiny dog, he kills a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's compensating or... What's running right now? I hear a running noise. This takes us up to the top of the wall. And what a lovely top of the wall it is. We're actually stacking up a lot of cash right now. We got like, what, 1,000 plus? Can we do anything new? We can do the Western Barbican. So it bars the passage of invaders coming across the Ichi Iron. I don't know if our iron's itchy just yet. Do we need to like alleviate that? Does it need lotion or anything of that nature just yet? Got the Bailey. Yeah, the Bailey's probably a good idea. Probably a mott to go along with it because I love applesauce. We could do the tower. Gets a perception bonus when you rest there. That's kind of cool. That might be nice. The south curtain wall is going to give further protection to the Bailey from invaders coming from the south. The library gives us lore bonuses. Okay, the barracks. There's lots of stuff up in here. There's actually quite a few things that we can peruse. We've got the woodland trails, I'm sorry. I've got like, I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with it, but I've always felt like I have really, really vague dyslexia or something, because sometimes words just like come out wrong, or they'll be in a different order as I read them. It happens especially with numbers. Like when I was in college, I would have to read when I did math problems. I'd have to read them 3 and 4 times. I don't know, it did like this weird blurry odd thing, and I would know that the numbers were being misrepresented, and then once I realized it was all blurry, I'd like close my eyes and I'd look at it 3 or 4 times until I could take an average or whatever of the right numbers being there. It's either that or I'm hallucinating and I'm going crazy, and so next to that I think dyslexia sounds far better. Not really sure though, not really sure. Never been diagnosed, don't even really know what dyslexia entails, but all I know is that sometimes I have a lot of trouble reading and doing math problems and things. We can do a lab right there. We can do a sort of semblance. Well, I would kind of like, I don't know, I want functional things to get done first, and what's more functional than defensive walls? So I suppose we'll start out with, let's defend ourselves from the west, I guess, because that's going to be where the capital is, right? So we'll start with the Western Barbican, and so there it is. I don't know if that's a proper choice or a good choice or even a well thought out choice, but it's the choice that I'm going to...
Hey.
Alright, all you guys, hold on, I want everybody to stop what they're doing. We'll send him out first, so get them into combat. There it is. Start firing off from over here a little bit. Bring the clerics in from behind just to sort of see what we can accomplish here. I'd like you to swing what? No, don't get caught up right there. There you go. Work your way in behind. Get a little bit of damage off these Raedric's guard. Oh my god, what did he just get whooped on so hard for? My lord. That's not good. Did he take a crit or something right there? I'm not sure how that went down, but he definitely is feeling the burn right now. He's got like a rather large gash. He's got a terrifyingly large gash just protruding from his body. You know it's bad. Gashes, I tend to think of gashes as being inwards, but for whatever reason, his is poking outwards. He must have got critted or something. I don't know. We'd have to go back through the combat log, and I think it's too far gone at this point. It'll take me a while to cycle on through it, although I do love my afternoon spent with motocross. So we've got, what is this? An arbalest, okay. We're about to make a lot of cash off this stuff once we sell it all off. I think we're going to be in a very, very strong position once we get out of this place. How's our cash flow looking? 305. We're not wealthy yet. Oh, we have a ring. A bartender. Somebody said that I sold all my grimoires. I didn't sell the grimoires. I still have Ludranas, and I still have Merwalds right there. I noticed that in the comments before, and so I wanted to make people not panic. I didn't buy these back or anything. I sold all of the random lore books that didn't have anything to do with anything, but I kept the grimoires. So I don't know. I saw a number of people that were like, oh my god, he sold his grimoires. I'm like, no, I didn't. I went back and I checked the video too, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure that I didn't sell the grimoires. Like, I know how they work. Let's see here. We've got 20 defense while stunned, so that means if you get knocked the hell out, that would be a really nice ring to have. What's he rocking right now? Maybe I'll give it to him. Oh, you can only... Oh, never mind. There it is. I was going to say, you can only wear one ring at a time. I'm pretty sure I have 10 fingers. And, you know, I was into heavy metal for a while, and I'm pretty sure I could get a lot of rings onto these fingers. Sometimes multiple rings per finger before I went on stage. It was what it was. What's in here? Something bad, isn't it? We're going to get jumped by like 150 people the second we zone in. I know it. Watch. I'm calling it right now. 150 people. Ooh. Touche, game.
Keeping quiet.
I bet there's something secret in here, so let's walk around in stealthy mode. I wish that perception just like worked while you were wandering around, like your highest perception person just kind of like got it done. However, since that's not the way that it works, I guess we'll do this the legitimate way.
I'll have it in no time.
Looks like, ooh, that was a lot right there. A fine breastplate. That gives 10 DR. I might actually consider... Give that to him real quick. How come that didn't go into my... Oh, it went into his inventory because he was looting. So that's got 7 DR. What's the recovery right there? Minus 40. Go for it. That'll make you a little bit more resilient. Ooh, and it brings you up on like a couple sexy levels as well. The helmet's not helping. That frog helm is a little whack. I don't know. We might have to come up with something a little bit more... Something about the aesthetics of that helmet. It just doesn't do anything for me. It's definitely got the word ribbit locked down here. We've got a badass shield on this side, too. A fine, long shield. Okay. So we've got all that. That seems to be just about everything that's up in here. It looks like we're out of time for the day. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here as we plunge on into Raedric's Hold, trying to get some plumbing done here. I will see you all later. How do you out there, everybody, and I'll see you next time.